best time of the day for a walk is first thing in the morning. This is when I think you can feel most alive. Just after you've woken up and you step out into the forest, you know you are in the world. My mother, when I was younger, she knew that I was not a big reader. Nevertheless, she wanted me to read, so she'd give me books. Enid Blyton, The Secret Seven, The Hardy Boys, Roald Dahl. All of these books were based in adventure, of course, and had to do with the imagination and the limitless number of possibilities in life. I'm really grateful now, not just for the world around me. I'm truly grateful for the life I've been allowed to live these past 10 years. A life that I've given myself permission to live, but a life ultimately that would never have been without permission from above. And this is exactly why it's called a rock maze, because I don't even know if I'm on the trail anymore. I am. You know, I might live to regret saying this, but so far Pennsylvania has been my favourite state of the walk so far. Just the variety of landscapes alone has been amazing, from the pine forests to the rocky tops I just walked over, and now out into a big wide open green pasture like this one. I like it. Let's go for a walk. This is Duncannon in Pennsylvania. Duncannon is also the name of a town in Wexford in Ireland. I assume it's named after that town. And I stayed in the Doyle Hotel, this old-fashioned hotel on top of a rather old-fashioned Irish bar on the corner there. I didn't do much in the town. I had a sleep last night and preparing for today, to be honest, because today's going to be a really tough day. Quaint little town. I think it looks a lot different than the other towns we've been walking through on the trip. Sergeant James Bell, United States Air Force, retired. Vietnam, 1961 to 1981. Also on every second house along the way, the stars and stripes, the flags are hanging outside. Back in the day, a lot of young men coming from these towns in America would have lost their lives fighting for what they saw as their freedom and the freedom of other people around the world. Today is extremely hot, around 35 degrees Celsius plus maybe 40 degrees Celsius, which is around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and that means obviously you drink a lot more water, you're losing a lot more fluids, and it also means, especially when there's no wind, I've a bazillion midges or flies or gnats, whatever you call them, around my head. I don't know if you can see them now. I tried wearing the bug net, but it's hard to see with the bug net, and it also doesn't smell great. Changed my mind. Don't know if you can see these, perhaps you can hear them. It's intense. There's hundreds of them, perhaps thousands of them. And because I smell so bad, I suppose it's not hard for them to find me. Best to just keep on walking, get out of here. I'm hoping the bugs are not as bad from here. I've been able to walk without my head net for the past 10 minutes, I would say. And it's a great respite. It's not nice being in the head net, mostly because it's dark. And when you take the head net off, it just feels so much nicer, like you've come back out into the light again. Obviously. Still, I have to say, Pennsylvania section for me has been the most beautiful, the most varied in terms of scenery on the trail, and the terrain up until now has been okay. I do know later today is where the rocks begin properly. Pennsylvania is known to through hikers as Rocksylvania, and it's supposed to be very difficult from here on out in the rest of Pennsylvania. Let's see what happens. I don't think ahead because it only creates thoughts and worries that I don't need. This is oats. I mix it in the evening, leave it out overnight, and then it's nice and cold in the morning. Because the weather's really hot now, cold oats is much more appetizing than hot oats. I also have a banana in my bag, and that will be first breakfast. Second breakfast we shall have yonder. This week has been great. I've loved the scenery. The terrain has been kind enough. The weather has been hot. But I've met a lot of people too. And in between meeting lots of new faces, I got to walk with Saguaro for a couple of days. Hopefully many more to come. And then also Spark, who I met back in the Smoky Mountains. Spark is from Spain and we walked together for a bit. It's just been really different to the first half of the trip these past couple of weeks, and I'm happy to say that I mean different in the best possible way. It's been so fun these past couple of days. In spite of the challenges of the weather and whatnot, I'm having a much better experience than I thought I would. What a difference a day makes, what a difference a week makes, what a difference it makes when you make things change. Because the saying is true that time doesn't change anything. You have to actually change things yourself. And I'm talking about how I went from having 3, maybe 4 pretty sad, miserable days to now having an amazing immersive experience once again on the Appalachian Trail. And what I would say is that this does feel like a new season, and rather than me thinking, oh, this is the end, or things are not going to be the same or as good anymore, I was able to change the way I was thinking and start to look at this as a new season, as a new experience that I have yet to have, and not to expect what is to come, but to accept what is to come. Most of all, the lesson I have learned or relearned for myself these past couple of weeks is to keep going. To keep going and to know that things must change, because there's one thing that's true about life: no matter what is happening, no matter what has happened, things have to change. Things will change. Surely this can't be the trail.